3 ways to prove English language requirement to study
Hi
abroad.
everyone, my name is Miracle Oluchi Oba. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on whenever you're going to come across this video. So I made a post about how you do not necessarily need to write IELTS or TOEFL exam. IELTS actually stands for International English Language Testing System Examination, and TOEFL stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language. These are exams that you need to write when you're planning to study overseas or abroad, especially when you're not from an English-speaking country. So I made that post and I stated that I didn't have to write those exams to study in the UK, and that was actually true. I didn't write them. How did I get to surmount that? It was actually a friend of mine that told me about it, even though she wrote the exam. But when she started uni in the UK, her postgrad in the UK, she actually said she found out that she didn't have to write them. So when she heard about my study abroad plans, she advised me not to write them, especially if I do not have the finances to cater for them, and if I do not have the luxury of time as well. And that was actually my state at the moment. I didn't have the fund to put into that. And even though if it was the only option, maybe I would have sourced for fun to write it. But because there was a way out, so I didn't want to put my money there. And then I didn't have a lot of time on my side as well. So I decided to go by her advice. And what I did was, because you have to submit something, actually, proof of English is a requirement when you are doing your application to study abroad. Is a very important requirement because they have to be sure that you can hear English and you can speak English as well, because that is the language of instruction. So what I did was I had to write to my formal institution. Coming from an English-speaking country like Nigeria, colonized by the Great Britain, I knew how to speak English, obviously, and I could understand English as well. So what I did was I got a letter, an official letter from my previous institution, stating that all through my undergraduate days, we were taught in English. I spoke English, I understood English. So the letter I got was an exemption letter, a letter that could exempt me from writing those examinations, and then supplement or state the fact that I could speak and understand English very well. So I got the letter. It was signed and stamped from my previous institution, and I submitted it to quite a number of top UK schools, and I got admitted. When they looked at it, they looked at my the country I'm coming from. I think country is another important thing. If you're coming from French speaking countries, I think they'll have to make sure you can actually speak English, because French speaking countries don't usually speak English, especially as a language of instruction in their schools. So, but I think my letter was convincing, and they also went through, I guess, I'm not sure, they would have also gone through my academic qualifications and the rest of my application, not just that. So this video is just to advise someone out there who has reasons to study abroad, and maybe you've been trying to write these exams and you're not getting the required score your uni wants from you, and is a bit holding you back. I would advise you go for an exemption, and if you're good with your application, you have a strong application, strong recommendations, and other things are there, you could still secure admission without having to write TOEFL or IELTS test. Especially in my country now, these exams are very expensive. When I mean very expensive, the prices go up yearly. So this video is an eye-opener. You do not have to write them to get admitted to study in the UK. You can come in with your exemption letter or proof that you can speak, hear, and understand English. So that is it. And finally, most UK schools, if not all schools, have a provision for pre-sectional English language test. Is like an examination they give to students, international students coming from countries that are not basically English speaking countries, or even if it's English speaking countries, like it is their own test to confirm that you can speak, hear, and understand English. So if you are going to use the fact that you've written those exams, or you didn't get the required score, or whatever reason, you can apply to do the school's own pre-sessional English test. I don't know if you have to pay for it. I've not done it before. I didn't do it. So I don't know if it's paid for, but I know my school has that, and I've worked in a position where I had to encourage people that didn't intend to take up their admission from my school, and I had to encourage them that, oh, if it's because of TOEFL or IELTS score that you had that was very bad, we have an English language test from my school that you can do, and that's it. So actually there are 3 ways to do it. It's either you write the standard TOEFL or IELTS test, the one everybody knows, or you get an exemption letter to prove that you can actually speak, hear, understand. And then the other one is that you have to take up the examination offered by the school to test your English language abilities. So either of these 3 works. So what happens is that people tend to push TOEFL out there, or the IELTS test. They tend to bring it forward a lot, and they disregard or say little about these other 2 options. I used the option number 2, which was exemption letter, and I know some other persons used option number 3, which was taking up the English language test from the school itself. Do you get? So that's it. I hope this video has been informative, impactful, and I wish you well in your study abroad plans. Do send me DMs if you have questions about your study abroad. I wish you a very big success in your study abroad plans, and like I said, always send me a DM if you have questions concerning your study abroad plans. And please do well to follow my Facebook page at Mentor Miracle Ogbar. Follow me on Instagram at Okala Oluchi, and on LinkedIn at Miracle Ogbar. Yeah, follow me on all social media platforms, and let me know if this video was helpful and if you would like me to do more videos. This is actually my first video. I don't know if I did well, but I'm just gonna put it out there because I know it's gonna help someone. Thank you. Bye.